For the longest time, we've thought of AI as something that can talk, write, or maybe whip up an image for us. But there's a massive shift happening right now. We are moving from AI that just talks about the world to AI that can actually act in it. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that incredible leap is being made. So here's the game plan. First, we'll dive into the growing pains that are holding current AI back. Then we'll look at the superpowers engineers are giving them to overcome those hurdles. We'll pop the hood and see how AI actually uses these new tools, explore the next giant leap towards autonomy, and finally, we'll try to figure out what this all means for you and me. Look, there's no doubt that today's large language models, or LLMs, are amazing. They can write beautiful poetry, they can help you debug your code, they can summarize dense articles in seconds. But, and this is a really big but, they've got some fundamental flaws that we have to fix before they can really take that next step. This quote from a big survey on the topic absolutely nails the core problem. Researchers call it hallucinating. It's when an LLM just makes stuff up. And the scary part is, it sounds totally plausible. It's confident, but it's completely wrong. And that is the central challenge we need to solve. So you've got this real tug of war, right? On one side, you have the incredible promise, access to all human knowledge. On the other, you have the frustrating reality. They still make factual mistakes, they can't be trusted with simple math, and their knowledge base is stuck in the past, only as good as their last training run. So what's the fix? Well, the solution isn't just to make them bigger, it's to give them an upgrade. The idea is to turn a regular language model into an augmented language model, or ALM for short. This is all about making them smarter and, crucially, more connected to the world around them. So what exactly is an ALM? Well, you can think of it as a regular language model that's been given two distinct superpowers. First, the ability to reason, and second, the ability to use tools. These two things, together, completely change the game. The first superpower, reasoning, is all about teaching the model how to think. Instead of just jumping straight to an answer, it learns to break a big, messy problem down into a series of smaller, bite-sized steps. It's basically learning how to create a plan of attack. And the second superpower? Tools. Now, if reasoning is the brain making the plan, then tools are the hands that actually carry it out. This gives the model a way to reach outside of its own digital mind and interact with the real world. It can grab a calculator for math, use a search engine for today's news, or even tap into an online store's database. Okay, so we get the what, but what about the how? How does an AI actually pick up and use a tool? Well, the magic behind all of this is a process called function calling. Let's take a look. Now, this is a really, really important point, and it's where a lot of people get confused. The LLM itself isn't running the code to do a web search or check a stock price. Nope. It's more like a dispatcher. It looks at your request and just writes up a work order, a little structured command that another, totally separate program can then execute. Let's walk through this whole flow. It all starts with you, the user, asking something simple like, show me the blue running shirt. That request, plus a list of tools it's allowed to use, goes to the LLM. The model figures out, aha, they need product details, and chooses the right tool. Then it spits out that little command, that work order, with all the right info, like the product ID. Finally, your application grabs that command, runs the real function, gets the real data, and shows the answer to you. Simple as that. So you might be wondering, how does the AI know what its job is or what tools it even has? It's all laid out in something called the system prompt. You can think of it like the AI's job description and its toolbox, all handed to it right at the start of the conversation. Now, this system of handing an AI a list of tools works great for something specific, like a shopping assistant with maybe 5 or 6 functions. But what happens when you want to build an agent that can do, well, pretty much anything? That's where we get to the next massive leap, autonomy. And this brings us to a huge challenge, right? If an AI could potentially use thousands of different tools and APIs from across the web, you can't just cram that enormous list into its prompt every single time. It would be incredibly slow, super expensive, and just wildly inefficient. So there are really 2 ways to tackle this. The current method is what we could call passive selection. The developer basically gives the AI a menu of tools to choose from. But the really exciting future lies in active discovery. In this model, the AI figures out what it needs to do on its own, like, say, book a flight, and then it actively asks, hey, is there a tool I can use to book flights? And the efficiency gains from this new approach are
Well, they're just mind-blowing. A new framework that uses this active discovery method was tested, and the result? A 98% reduction in the amount of data it needed to process. 98%! That is an absolute game changer for building large-scale autonomous AI.
So we're building an AI that doesn't just talk, it acts. It does things. Let's pull back from the technical details for a minute and really think about the huge implications of this shift, both the incredible promise and the very real peril. On the bright side, the benefits are enormous. By using tools, the AI's answers are grounded in real-time, factual data, so they become much more truthful. We can also see its work. We can look at the tools it used to get an answer, which makes it easier to understand and trust. And of course, it just massively expands what an AI can actually do for us. But, and you knew a but was coming, we have to look at the flip side. An answer that comes from a tool can seem way more authoritative, even if the AI used the tool wrong. There's a huge risk that malicious people could trick the AI into doing something dangerous. And maybe, most importantly, an AI that can act can cause real, actual harm in the world if it makes a mistake and there isn't a human there to catch it. You know, this quote from that research paper really just ties it all together perfectly. The entire paradigm is shifting right under our feet. We are leaving the era of isolated, passive text bots, and we are walking right into the era of active, world-interacting AI agents. And that leaves us with this final massive question. As these systems get more and more autonomous, as they get better at finding and using any tool they need to get a job done, we as a society have to decide, what are the limits? What actions are we okay with an AI taking all on its own? And where do we have to draw a hard line?